Alright, so today we're starting a new series called Tackle Talk, and we're going to start off by talking about crankbaits.
So, as you can probably already tell, I've got one box, he's got two.
I've got a problem, you don't.
You do have a problem. You have a serious problem with
Whatever.
crankbaits. I've got enough to get the job done.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it probably could be. But basically, this Tackle Talk series, we're just going to run through the tackle. Like you said, today it's going to be crankbaits. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about all the different kinds, the sizes, the depths, basically all that.
Stuff we carry, stuff we throw.
On a regular basis. I'm sure you got something in there that it's just like special occasions.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with mystery tackle box. They give you stuff that sometimes you just won't throw.
I get a lot through mystery tackle
Yeah.
box. A lot. So, basically, I guess go shallowest to deepest.
Okay, we can start shallow. That's fine.
Do that one? So, basically, with crankbait, start with shallow. You're more likely to start out with a square bill. So, there's ones by Lucky Craft that run. What did you say on this one? 3 to 5 feet?
Yeah,
3 to 5 feet
they're
roughly.
probably 3 to 5 feet, depending on your line.
Yeah, that's true. You can go, if I can get it out here. You got bigger ones, like the Strike King one. It runs a little bit deeper, a little bit bigger size than the Lucky Craft.
I was just saying, I've got some of the bigger Lucky Crafts as well. Some of the
I'm trying
2.5 sizes.
You can
This one actually was a mystery tackle box bait.
was
I
it?
believe you have one.
I've got that exact same one. Yep. And you got Spro, you got Strike King, you got Rapala. Every company makes their own version of
The 1.5 and 2.5.
the 1.5s, 2.5s. So,
Alright, I'm going to get a little specific here.
go specific, bud.
This color right here, I'm sure you guys can see it. Chartreuse blackback. This one has a orange belly to it. This bait in this color, specifically for us, has always done really, really well in our ponds.
It doesn't matter, dirty water, clear water.
Yeah. Generally, our ponds are slightly stained. They're probably 10 to 12 inches of visibility. Not super stained, but enough that
It distorts.
like you're not going to end up throwing, your
You're not going to be throwing
your straight up bluegills kind of.
natural brown. Whatever it
We
may
still
be.
do, but something about this size and this bait has just been phenomenal for us. Our local lake has a dam that has quite a good bit of rock in the water, and it sits anywhere from about 3 to 12 feet, depending on where you're at on the lake. And throwing a little square bill like that, especially out of our kayaks, is really nice because it doesn't drag you around as bad.
So, I guess from going on from the square bills that run 3 feet to 5 feet roughly, some go even shallower. I guess you could go on to the 6 to 9 foot range.
Yeah,
That's
6 to 10.
6 to 10. So for that category, I don't really have a whole lot of them. I really don't.
I have a lot of these right here. These are the Lucky Craft DT LTCs, I think, or something along those lines. When they put our Cabela's in, these were on sale. I think they were going about $6 a piece, and I'm sure you guys know for Lucky Crafts that's really cheap. So I picked up probably a few more than I should have. But
So obviously he's got a lot more for the middle depth water column than I do. I've basically got 2, maybe 3 that would work, and they're almost pretty much all KVD with flat sides. I don't really have a lot. I
I've
thought
got
I
a
had
few of the
more.
flat sides.
I thought I had more of the 6 and
This one is a good all around color because it's like a bluegill pattern. I think
I've got that in the
I think
color.
80% of our lakes around here will probably be strictly bluegills. We have
Far and few between of crappie.
we have our local lake that you guys see us fish all the time. That has gizzard shads and thread fins in it, but generally every other place we fish only has maybe
Bluegill.
thread fins or bluegill.
Primarily bluegill though.
Yeah.
is the big forage.
I've got some other medium divers from the Strike King line. Some of your 3s and your 3XDs. Of course, the XD means extra deep, so generally those will go like 10 to 12, 12 to 15-ish, something like that. Got a few of those colors. And I'm sure you guys are probably noticing that I rubber band all my crankbait hooks.
And I'm getting there.
Because it saves a lot of trouble.
I've got a few that are rubber banded. I just need to get my rubber band so I can do it.
The only ones you can't rubber band
Jointed.
are these little jointeds.
And you also can't rubber band this one. This Livingston here. Because
it starts doing this sound. Yeah.
a lot of you may know, and some of you may not know, Livingston's crankbaits actually put off a bait noise. And if you rubber band the hooks together, it sets off the bait noise, and then it just
kills the battery.
And it doesn't work. So you can't really rubber band the hooks on them.
I'm going to talk about this bait. This bait right here is a Rapala JSR 5. I think they're 10 to 12 foot range. They're jointed. They have a really tight wobble and a really silent rattle to them. And I think they work really well for us because everybody else is throwing stuff like this, which is really loud BBs. This is a Lucky Craft. I think it's a moonsault. A moonslaughter?
I don't throw
something weird.
I don't throw as much Lucky Craft as you do.
It was a mystery tackle box bait.
Isn't it the one, the jointed one there? Isn't that the one you catch your pike on?
Yes, I did actually catch a pike on one. It was, let's see here.
And the pike that he caught's actually up on our channel.
It was this one right here.
One of our first ones.
He was in really shallow water. He was only in about a foot of water, but we could see him. And so I threw past him, and then when it started diving down, it instantly hit the bottom. So what I did was I let it float back up, and then I gave the rod a twitch to get it, not to necessarily dig into the ground, but just to deflect around a little bit, and that's when I ended up hitting it.
So I guess the next category you can go is deep. Well, I guess you can go deep and then you go extra deep.
All right, we'll go extra deep too.
So basically, my deep section consists of a couple Rapala DT10s. This Yozuri, I got Mystery Tackle Box a few months ago. I think this one's 15 foot, I believe.
It's probably right around there, yeah.
I believe. And then I've got a few 6XDs and a various array of colors. 6XD for us is probably the biggest we're willing to throw from our kayaks, at least.
I was gonna say I have a few 10s, and I have
they pull, but it's
a river to sea, a river to sea that dives, I think 25 plus, and then I've got a couple of these Spros that dive really deep. I don't know how well you guys can tell, but that's actually a transparent crankbait. The only reason I bought these is because they were on sale. I think they were like $6 or $7, and I ended up throwing them at our local, our closest like lake specifically. And
you throw that at the ground core?
No, I threw this at CJ Brown Reservoir, and I ended up catching a smallmouth, a 12-inch smallmouth, and I think about 25 foot of water on it. So
pretty good, man.
They work.
So
this one's interesting because it's got one weight in there for a weight transfer system, but it's rubber coated, so it's really silent. It's almost like a if you guys know the red eye shads that have the 2 taps in them. It's almost like that sound, but it's only one BB in there.
So I guess the next bait I kind of want to talk about, it's a crankbait, but I guess you can kind of call it an upgraded version. It's this crankbait by Weston. It's a Scandinavian company.
Yeah, if you guys have seen this, or if you guys are subscribed to Mystery Tack Box, you probably just received one in your box.
And I want to call it upgraded because a lot of the older guys, especially around where we fish and stuff, they throw this, and it's wooden. And what was it? A walking?
It's a balsa bait.
It's a balsa bait.
They're like really old Rapalas, probably from the 80s, early 90s, probably is what they are.
Definitely not recent.
And they're really attached to them, and that's all they throw. They throw really shallow diving balsa crankbait. Something that's similar to this. This is a balsa. It's
but it seriously, it looks just like this.
This is a really Bagley. It's really shallow bill. I think it dives 1 to 3 feet. But the baits they throw are balsa like this, but end up being in like this kind of size. And so they catch a lot of numbers out there where we fish, but they never catch the big ones that we end up catching. Because I've fallen in love with throwing a 10.5-inch, 12-inch worm out deep, and
it works, dude.
That's the ones that end up getting bit by big ones.
So
this is a company that gets overlooked a lot. This is the I'm a Pinjack 200. I believe it's a Japanese company.
Yeah, I'm is Japanese, I believe.
But they make really good baits. They're I'm a flick, something like that. Their jerk bait is really good. It's a nice small size.
I can get these hooks on,
and for us, we don't get real big fish around where we live, so having a smaller size jerkbait really helps.
I've actually got one I'm a squirrel myself, and I got it in Mr. Tackle Box.
Yeah, that's where this came from. This came from Mr. Tackle Box.
Mr. Tackle Box sends out a lot of good jerk baits, crankbaits, a lot of good baits in general, just overall. Don't you have like 3 of them? Like that?
I've got 3 of them.
That's the one I've got. So
my dad also gets Mystery Tackle Box, but he gets the regular. He doesn't get the Pro Box, and he got one the same month we got ours. And then we were out fishing on our local lake, and we're probably one of the few people that kayak it. And everybody on the bank gets hung up in trees and stuff. And sure enough, somebody ended up getting one of those IMAs hung up in a tree, and it was basically brand new.
It's free. So I've got one 3600 deep box for my crankbaits, and I did recently just get into swim baits, so the top row is going to be for the swim baits. So you guys have already seen the 2.
If you saw the last video,
the tackle unboxing. Man, they got sharp hooks. You guys saw the light trout and the thread fin glide baits I got from Bass Pro Shops. Also included, I've got this. It's a balsa bluegill. I don't really remember who makes it. All I know is I got it off Amazon. It was like $10. It
just something to have some fun with.
Just try it out. It swims really good in the water. I'm gonna try it more this year. I barely threw it last year.
Probably tried around some beds. Some of the bigger bass on beds. You might hit that.
Because, I mean, we're
hoping to get some good underwater bed shots. I tried last year, and I don't know if you guys saw those clips or not. I may have archived them or something.
I mean, this thing here's got hooks that'll just stick for days. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's pretty much all that's in my box.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. I've got your miscellaneous stuff. Like I said, I've been getting Mystery Tackle Box now for
basically ever since
probably 4 years. Yeah, I don't want to say I am the longest, but I've got to be within like the top couple of people who have been the longest consecutive subscribers to Mystery Tackle Box.
You've had it for as long as I've known you.
It's been every bit of 4 years now, and I kept all of the cards that you get in your boxes and all of the Dibble Digests and stuff like that. So I've got it. I know what every box contained basically, and if I lose a bait that I like from it, I can always go back and find it and figure out what it was called and everything.
I keep the cards too.
Yeah.
The Devil's Digest, not so much, but I do keep the cards.
I've never read one, and I really probably should.
Honestly, I've read a couple. I read one a couple months back. I believe it was on smallmouth fishing.
Yeah, I remember that article.
It was. I'd read them if I were you.
I should read them.
They're pretty good. But that's pretty much. I know that's all from my crankbaits. I've got one box. Like I said,
I've got a couple.
got a lot more tackle than I do, and the more you guys watch, the more
Yeah,
you'll
the
find
more
out.
you'll find that out. We're supposed to be filming a couple of Arsenal videos, rod and reel Arsenal videos, and you guys will see those probably here in the next probably week or so.
And I'll tell you, my Arsenal video is going to be really
His will be
short
like 5 minutes. Mine will be like an hour.
because
I shouldn't say it's going to be that long because there's people that have more than I do. But
sorry guys, got interrupted. But I think that's going to do it today for the tackle talk.
yeah, I think we've covered most of the crankbaits. If you guys have questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments.
Leave a comment.
We'll be sure to answer as many as need to be.
We'll get to you if you like you said. Leave them down in the comments. We'll get to you. And this is going to be a series, so each episode, so to speak, we're going to talk about a different type of bait.
I'm kind of thinking we'll probably do like lipless crankbaits next. It'll kind of continue on to this, obviously, because crankbaits and stuff. But
I'd say lipless cranks into maybe other hard baits, such as maybe topwater baits or so on and so forth. But we're going to try and cover as many different tackle varieties as there is, and that we have at least, because some of them we don't have. But I think that's going to do it for us today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Two fingers.